very welcome, and I have to tell you what a pleasure and honor this is for me. One, to be on the bandstand with all these very talented gentlemen, and to also be able to say all these gentlemen are my friends. This guy, we go back many moments. And some early recordings when he first got to town. Ella Jones, Houston Person, James Clay, David Fathead. So it's a pleasure to be a music round of applause, Mr. Christian Winard. The piano, a young man I'm becoming very fond of. I don't know. Round of applause for Elliot. At the guitar, a round of applause for very talented Mr. Charlie C. These guys, this is like half of my band, and very proud to be here with them. On the tenor saxophone, a round of applause, Mr. Anthony Ware. On trumpet, another very talented young man and a nice. They don't come any nicer. I don't think. It's just one round around. Please, a wonderful round of applause, Mr. Teddy Chubb. The composition we just finished playing was one written by one of my very dear friends who's no longer with us, but he was one of the gurus of Washington, D.C. A very talented young man. And I could go on and on telling you stories about him, but you're going to have to look him up and see for yourself. And that's written by a wonderful pianist from Washington, D.C. by the name of Reuben Brown. And that composition is entitled Float Like a Butterfly. Anybody know what that stands for? There you go. That's right. It was a dedication to Muhammad Ali, just how much he meant to the community and what guys thought about it. It's entitled Float Like a Butterfly. What are we continuing with? There's some wonderful recordings of Reuben Brown. There's one of probably, it's become one of my favorite trio records of all time. You'll get a chance to check it out. And you could really hear and get a sense of the creativity that he had. And I think that it's Reuben Brown, and the young man he grew up playing with all through high school and everything else by the name of Billy Hart, on drums and great Rufus bass. I think that recording is entitled Ice Bass. So you can check that out. Rufus comes tomorrow. Tomorrow? I'm listening. Y'all heard from another one of my brothers. But this next composition we're going to do for you, I had the pleasure and honor of working with the late, great Dr. Taylor. Everybody know who that is? If you don't, please write it down, because you should know. He's one of our spokespersons for this music, a man greatly responsible for what we consider jazz education today, having been taught for jazz to be accepted and taught in many schools. But this is a composition of Dr. Taylor's entitled Capricious.
Thank you. That was quick. How about it one more time for this one? I don't know how thorough a conversation we'll be able to have in 10 minutes, but I will say that, man, what an honor to play with you again, man. Ooh, that's so good. See, that's how it's supposed to feel. When people ask, like, yeah, what do you think about when you play with the drummer? Like, how do you hook up with the drummer? Ain't nothing about it. That felt so good, man. Yes. Winard, I think I don't want to say it was, but certainly I first became aware of you when you met the late great Betty Harper in the 80s. And Betty, of course, was known as one of the greatest nurturers of this music. And that's what you did for a long time. Give us a quick backstory on how you got that gig with Betty. I don't think I know.
I got a gig with to be honest with you, it probably started when I lived in D.C.
Okay.
So we were in D.C. for a while. And I remember meeting Kenny Washington. And D.C. we became friends. And I didn't think much of it because I didn't know that much about Betty. But he told me, he said, man, if you ever get the chance, and it comes to take the gig, whatever. And then I started banging around D.C., came to New York. My first hit was with Dexter Gordon and then Johnny Griffin. Man, like I was telling y'all earlier, we used to go out to the jam sessions every night. And when we went out to the jam sessions back then, we would leave the house like 10 or 11 o'clock. and you wouldn't come back in till 8 or 9 in the morning. This is every day. You go out, catch the last set, the band runs within 3 sets. You know, so you catching the last set like 1 or 2 o'clock. You came to the last set of the night, they might get you in. And then after that, you go to one of the jam sessions at the Star Cafe. You go to like 3 or 4 o'clock. And then on the weekends, Barry Harris had a place called the Jazz Cultural Group. And they would go from 3 in the morning to 7. So you just hang out playing all day. And during that, I became friends with Penny Green. So Louis Nash left the band with Betty, so she started asking around about who she could get to play drums. And this was, since he's coming tomorrow, I'll tell him I mentioned this. I met Rufus Reed in Washington, D.C. He said, I told him, I said, me and my brother were thinking about coming over. He said, this is what you do before you go. He said, make sure, if I come to D.C. and I'm looking for a drummer, he said, make sure your name is on the top of everybody's list. I'm like, okay. So, when the cats would come to D.C., I get out, go play. So I met a lot of folks. So when Betty started asking around, sure enough, my name kept coming up on the list. Yes, Campus, yes, Benny Green, I think Bonnie Barrage, a lot of us throwing my name out there. So she said, well, I'm going to give him a call. So Betty called me up and said, hey, big man, Betty's going to call you. Okay, so I went and called him for audition. That was it.
And you stayed with her for 4 years? And those were the same 4 years? No, Benny was not there the entire time, was it?
Well, Benny was there the first 2 or 3 of it. And then he wanted to go with Art.
Right.
And so, and by that time, I become very close. Because I just love the music so much, I would always ask her questions. Like, everybody else would be running away from her. We get on the airplane, I'm next to her. Because I'm asking questions about business. Because I knew at that time Betty was her own gigs, her own promotions, her own recordings. And I figured it was going to be the same problem I was going to have. So I'm trying to get all this information. She looked at me and said, you asked a lot of questions. And sure enough, the Harper brothers, when that band hit, all our work was Betty Carter's work.
Sure, that's right.
On the first tours we did. So I learned a lot from her. But Benny Green was there, mostly Charlie Shaw. That was the beginning band. Charlie Shaw, Benny Green. And then Charlie left, and then she needed a bass player. So I suggested we brought in Michael Bowie. So Bowie came to the band for a while. Then when he got ready to leave, she was looking for a piano player. And I don't know if you know this story or not. So I said, well, I knew somebody, but I didn't want to recognize he was 16 years old. So I said, well, you know what? I got somebody in mind, bring him, you try him out. And I brought him to the house, and played there. He was smiling ear to ear. She's like, yeah, I like him. I'm going to hire him. I said, wait a minute. Hold up, we got to do something first. I said, we don't have to talk to his parents. She's like, what are you talking to him for? I said, he's only 16. She about hit the roof. What? Why would you bring somebody? I said, well, look, he wants to play. And don't ever tell him I told you. That's school no way. So, I was just mad at my joke. But he wasn't. And it was Stephen Scott. So Stephen Scott.
See, I know about the school party. I'm a buster on that now. And some wonderful years you spent with Betty, and some wonderful years with the Harper Brothers. And you have this amazing band. You've been like, I feel like I can safely say you've been the mayor of Jersey City for how long now?
That's probably going on 20 years. But funny is, when we moved to Jersey City, we just lived there.
Right.
We were going out because we would get a gig in Jersey City once a year, doing something in the park. Jazz in Jersey City, other than my great friend Delwyn Williams, he was out of the library, cultural services, which would happen like once a week, maybe, a few times out of the month, but on a consistent level, there wasn't no jazz. I started doing the jam session in Brewers. There was a guy who used to come all the time named Cliff Walsh, and he said, man, you trying to do jazz in Jersey City? You trying to raise the dead.
Oh, wow. Wow. We've heard that story in jazz so many times. But if that's the case, then that's what you actually did. So bless you for that. I think we got time. Give me 2 really good questions. First hand I see is, okay, I saw question number 1.
Do you play any instrument besides the drum?
You have to play any instrument other than drum.
you know, coming up in school, I had to learn some piano. And then when I first hit the scene, for some, you know, I know, one, I did have a lot of art breaking in my band, so a lot of people associated me with art breaking and they're trying to lead the band. And two of my biggest heroes was Max Roach, eighth grade, my dear friend Billy Higgins. I was me and Billy were like that. So Billy got me into thinking about sound and sounds. So the first thing he did, he introduced me to this instrument called the anybody familiar with stick drum? That wooden box that has tones. Well, in some of my first recordings, you could hear I had some pieces on the stick drum. But then in my exploration after that, I ran into the balafon. So I also implemented the balafon in the band. So I played the balafon and drums, but that's pretty. But the way I hear, I learned the music by listening. And I have two brothers who play trumpet. One plays trumpet, piano, a lot of people, he runs stuff over in smalls and venues. But I was hearing melodies all the time. So when I play, that's what I hear. I hear melodies.
That's on the second one right there. Sorry.
So I noticed, when you put up space or you instruments that Steve played before, and you accent, notes and things like that. So I want to ask you, how do you maximize the resonance of the kid without overpowering the band, especially in the room as we're in the power to the accents and with their actions?
Well, I mean, I'm human, so there are times probably when I do a problem there, because I get excited. Like I said, I love it. That's one of the for me, the lights go on and life is easiest when it is. And I just love it so much. And I love the people. I love the conversations that happen on the bandstand. So I hear somebody say something, you'll play something, and you get excited about it. And I think of myself like I guess, best like a point guard. I think of myself as trying to hook everybody up. I'm gonna put you in a scoring position. I'm gonna set you up. Just wait a minute. But that's what makes the music best for me. When I can see somebody so
See the floor.
hit that boom,
Yeah, right.
then I say, oh man, that's nice. So that's what I hear. I just hear the music and try to do what I can to spice up the story that they're telling.
Hearing you play, unfortunately, that's all we got time for, 2 questions. But when I hear you play, the very first thing you played, when we were about to play the first song, was you went. And so I think of Max, but I also think of Roy Haynes. And one of the things I love about Roy Haynes playing, or most drummers that play, I call it, you play with a lot of punctuation. And I like drummers, I like musicians in general, that they know how to use commas, periods, exclamation points. Like they play a phrase and it has a stop and a start, and you go, right. Like literally just says something, you're like, okay, right. Blah, 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 blah. So he sends messages, man. And so like I would like all of you to keep that in mind, whatever instrument you play. Use punctuation, in your sentence. Ask a question. Give someone an answer if they ask you a question through your instrument. And thank you for that clarity that we've always played with. It's always been a joy to hear you and hear, watch, and feel that groove, man. Yes, we do need to do that some more. We need to rap. But on that note, Mr. Chubb, I shall hand it back over to you.
Because we all have played music, and even many of us who have been playing this music professionally, we play music. And there's a few people in this world who live the music every moment of every day. And Winard the music and continues to live the music and fights for the music to be alive, like very few other people on the planet do. So can we give them one more round of applause? And I have to remind you, and this is true, that his jam session on Fridays and Sunday nights is open to all of you. And that, you'll see many of us who are on stage throughout the week, and maybe teaching assistants, you'll see us there. You'll play with us, you'll play with him, and there's very few other environments that are going to be as welcoming, and will also give you the real truth every time you go there. So, if you live locally or even semi-locally, find yourself there and seek out people that we have like Winard who are within your group, because he's there every single Friday and Sunday. So I expect to see some of you guys there. All right, we're going to close the symposium and we'll get to our last period. So thank you all for being a great audience.